Hi everybody! Today is December 5th and we are counting down all of the days until Christmas! Yay! What are you most excited about for Christmas? Spending time with my family, probably. That's the same thing Nick said. Spending time with the family, yes. See, we have got so many things to be thankful for and so many things to be excited about. Well, we are being super excited about counting down our Advent blocks. So today we are at number 5, day number 5. Let's go ahead and go over what we've already seen while we are working our way through God's Christmas story. So we started off saying this was God's love story to his world, right? Remember, God made the world. This is God's love story to his world. And we talked about how it all began in the very beginning. We talked about how God started over. We talked about how God made crazy promises, but God always keeps his promises, doesn't he? Yes, he does. So God's promises, and then yesterday we talked about how God is with us even when it's hard, even when we don't see him. Well, today we're going to talk about block number 5. So you're going to show that to our friends. We're going to put it right there on the side. Block number 5, and we're going to put the star on top of it. If that's what we're talking about today. Let's see here. I'm going to talk about the people that God picks. So remember Abraham, right? Abraham had a son named Isaac. And Isaac had 2 sons. Esau, the oldest, and Jacob. Well, Jacob's name means trickster. He's tricky, which was a good name for Jacob because he did a lot of tricking and lying and stealing. Jacob wasn't a very good person at all. But the crazy thing is, God had chosen Jacob. One of Jacob's great-great-great-great-great-great-grandchildren would be the child to bring God back to his people on earth. Who was the child? Jesus, there we go. Well, through Jacob, God would send a son, and everyone would say, God has come to live with us. Remember God's name? It means God with us?
Emmanuel.
Emmanuel, good job. Yes, God with us. But that was going to happen because of Jacob. See, that's how it is with God sometimes. He doesn't always pick the people that we might think. One day, while Jacob was running away from his brother, because he had stolen from his brother again, Jacob met and fell in love with a girl named Rachel. No one was surprised that Jacob fell in love with Rachel. She was young, she was really pretty, and her dad had a lot of money, so it was a really good match. Of course, Jacob loved her, and he wanted to marry her. Jacob was so in love with Rachel that he promised Rachel's father that he would work for 7 years in order to be allowed to marry Rachel. 7 years. Could you imagine? That's more than half your life. Craziness. Ooh. Well, when the wedding day came, though, Jacob the trickster had a trick played on him. Rachel's dad decided that instead of having Jacob marry Rachel, he was going to have Jacob marry Rachel's sister, Leah, instead. But Jacob didn't know it until it was too late. And boy, was he mad. He didn't love Leah. He loved Rachel. He wanted to marry Rachel. Well, God wanted to pick Leah. Jacob, of all people, should know that God doesn't always pick the people that we might think. Sadly, Jacob didn't see what God was up to. He still wanted Rachel. This made Leah feel sad and alone. But Leah wasn't alone. Just like God had chosen Abraham and Isaac and Jacob, God had chosen Leah. Through Leah, not Rachel, God would send a son, and everyone would say, God has come to live with us. You see, God was with Leah. Even when it was hard, even when her husband didn't love her, even when Jacob picked Rachel instead of her, God was still with her. See, that happens with us sometimes too, doesn't it? Sometimes we feel like everything is against us and nobody wants to pick us. Guess what? God picked us. He chose us. That was why he was working so hard to send his son so he could say, I choose you. I love you. No matter what. See, God gave Leah lots of children, and this made her very happy. And those children helped Leah feel happier than before. But what made Leah happiest wasn't her children. It was believing that one of her great-great-great-great-grandchildren would be the child that would bring Jesus back. For now, though, Leah knew, even with her children, God seemed far away. So Leah began to hope and to pray. God, will you come back? Will you come back to stay? No matter what, boys and girls, we can always remember God's never too far away. I can't wait to see what happens in day number 6. Bye!